welcome to day 2 of my craft projects. Today I thought I'd do a 3D card. I have shared some of these in the past, and I'll be using these booklets, the 3D die cut images. I'm not sure if these were from Poundworld when they were closing down. I know I bought them halfway through last year, or Poundland, or they may sell them in both stores. The first one is this. I do love these and I really wish I got some more. I think this is the second lot I've used, and that's the first one. And they do have a sheet also at the back with little extra embellishments you can use. And so here's the designs. If you haven't seen these packs before, and I think these are so good value. I have brought the 3D images from the range before. You know, they're usually single sheets, Hobbycraft, The Works, so you can get them pretty much anywhere. And just keep an eye out in Poundland, because occasionally they do have things like this. And especially if you're a beginner or basic crafter like I am, it's really easy to use. So I'm going to flick through and decide which one I'm going to do. Then I'll share the cards that I made last night while I was watching the TV with the family. So said I've used quite a few. I mean, some of the designs are so beautiful, and a lot of these maybe can be used for all different sorts of sorry, I was just getting a message up on my phone. Can be used for all sorts of occasions, and I do like to make these sort of ones and leave them blank, so they could be a thank you note, just send a little note through the post, birthday, whatever the occasion. And of course Mothering Sunday is coming up, as I've mentioned before. I have used this one before. I have shared a lot of the cards I've made using these packs. I just think they are so gorgeous. So as I'm showing you, I'm just flicking through to decide which one I am going to make. I've done this one before and used it as an engagement card. It can also be used for a wedding. So it's very versatile, and this one will be lovely. Actually, I think I might use this one, because coming up obviously to Valentine's Day, I thought I could use this love one. So I think that is the one I'm more than likely going to be using first. And as I say, like this one is like the extra embellishments at the back of the pack, and this is the other one. As I say, some of the bits and pieces are missing because I have been using these, and I was doing quite a few last night. And I just think they are so gorgeous. You can use them on boxes, and as I say, making cards. And there's the embellishment sheet at the back of that one. So after I've decided which one I am going to use, which is this one, I think I will take this one off the sheet to start with, just to give me a little bit more room. I have what is known as my craft cubby. If you're sort of following me for the first time, it's basically, it was a walk-in cupboard in a downstairs between the dining room, which is that way, and the lounge, which is that way. We took the door off. It used to be for the guys, especially when our boys were little, and we used to have a other desk in here with the computer and everything like that. But when my eldest son moved out, now got married, we changed his room into the games room stroke our younger son's lounge, who still lives at home. And this space became my girly space, and I will be doing another series on my cubby, because I want to, you know, go through everything, basically like a spring clean. I try and do this twice a year anyway, to see what I've got, to make sure, you know, you're not duplicating things. I do have boxes, and I have actually shared my copy in quite detail actually when I first started June, July time, so you can always look back on that, but I will be doing another series anyway. Right, so I'm going to use this love one, and next I need to sort out my card, and I use these a lot from Poundland because the squared paper pads fit lovely on here. Everything, as far as I know, is I already had in my stash, so I haven't bought anything different or new to do this. I'm just using what I've got today. So I'm going to use my first card, and as I say, I think these work out really well, and I use them a lot. And I've pulled out a few papers that I was actually going through last night. I've got a couple of odd sheets there. So what I tend to do is get the larger of the 3D images like this, so I can sort of just decide on what papers I want, and I go through. Sometimes I like something so it stands out better. It depends on how much pattern is in the embellishment I'm about to use. Now I'm looking at the Wildwoods, that's not going to be for this one. I've got the garden pad, which I love these, but some of them can be quite busy. But again, if you want something to really stand out, I probably will go for something that's maybe girly and pink. I do love that one. I will also share bits and pieces as I organise and go through my copy on what I've got. I'm trying not to buy any more paper pads if I can. I did buy one from Hobbycraft at the weekend. I like these designs as well. Most of these I think came from Poundland, some from the Works. Not sure about this pack. This one is a bigger pack. It could have been Poundland. I'm not 100% sure. And so there's all the different designs. So probably going for something, you know, quite pinky and girly. But again, because you've got pattern on here, you might not want too much pattern on the paper. Quite like that. It might need something to contrast. As I said, I have not planned this out. I am just going with it. This is one reason sometimes I like doing cards when I'm watching TV or whatever, because I'm not holding anybody up. That's pretty. It's got a slight, yeah, I think I might go for that one. As I said, I usually say to people, especially at the craft club at the community centre, that I've been going to over a year, and I help out with the kids' crafts during the holidays, that there's no really wrong way in crafting. Sometimes you might have plan A, plan B, plan C. That's just how things go. So first of all, I'm sure people know the basics, possibly of card making, but if you're not, I'll go through it as I'm nattering. This is quite thick actually, so I'm going to need some stronger glue. But can you see what I mean? So it could have been Poundland actually. It is near enough spot on. Sometimes I just like trim it with a pair of scissors, but they usually fit pretty well. So I think I'm going to have to use my tacky glue on this, because it, as I say, it's not the thinner paper. This is more the almost thinny card paper, cardstock. Now, to excuse, sometimes it does take a while for the glue to come out. Do excuse my voice. I did go back to the surgery. I think I've just mentioned it before. I'm on medication, 2 lots now. It's just not shifting. I do have a few other medical problems, so I think it's reached the stage now that I have got a chest infection, and they just had to give me something stronger. I know they don't like giving antibiotics unless, obviously, there's something majorly wrong. Funny enough, I remember when I was really ill some time ago, and I wasn't allowed antibiotics because obviously they're not going to work unless there's an infection. And then a week or so later, I had a cut that come up on my finger, and it festered up. And because I'm diabetic as well, I had to be very careful. Straight on antibiotics because of the nature. So we can have a general chat, can't we? Me and anybody who is watching this video. So you can see it is a good match, and this is basically what I was saying about Poundland. It is brilliant to get into craft making and cards and everything. It's quite reasonable to get started. There we are. So there's the card, and I think I'm just going to put it in the middle. I'm not going to put it anywhere else because I've got patterned on there. I've got patterned on my embellishment. I hope you can see that. So I don't think I'm going to add anything else onto it. But what I will do is I am going to use my sticky pads I've got from Poundland. Said, as far as I'm concerned with this mini project of making this card, everything was already in my stash. So to me, this one was a no spend this time round. I hope you've watched my filled jars from yesterday. I enjoyed doing that project actually, and I'm going to make that into a Valentine's basket and add in bits and pieces. And I'm hoping to make some rock cakes. I'm not sure if I'll get time to make them today. I want to do a bit of cleaning as well, but everything's just taken 2 or 3 times as long. I just wanted to get a bit of crafting in, because with doing all the organising and decluttering of our home over January, it means that I haven't really done any crafting, and I find it distresses me, and I just feel it calms me, especially, you know, not feeling well. I feel as though I've accomplished something. And I'll mention this, hubby has mentioned that doesn't he think we've got enough cards? I probably have, but then I normally bundle them up and give them to family members, so they've got you know, a few cards each that they can use if they want to. But yeah, I want to take a stock of everything that's in my little cubby, and I'm hoping you'll follow that series as well. So what you do is you basically just line the image up as best you can. So very easy. I've had these sort of 3Ds from a number of different places, and basically you go from large to small. This one has not got any extra little tiny bits to add on, so this one is quite straightforward. But I did actually spend quite a bit of time doing some crafting in the lounge with the family. Family want crafting, and we watched The Heat. I love that. The night before we watched The Spy, we tend to watch those two near enough following each other. We're refraining from not going to the cinema, although I like the cinema. I haven't been for some time actually, but it just works out so expensive. But again, my son's not well today. He's just he's off work. He's gone to the surgery just now. That's why I thought I'd do the crafting while it's quiet. I have done one lot of laundry this morning. The rubbish has gone out because it's rubbish day as well. I really need to do some more housework. I've found it a struggle actually. Since before Christmas, I used to be able to whip through the house in one day and do all my housework. It's not happening. There. So sometimes what I will do is I will put it like that, leave it for a minute, maybe go and do something else, do a bit another card or whatever, and then I might, when I'm sorting through, I might find something that I want to add onto it. See, bits and pieces like this. This is supposed to be part of the decor, but I just love this bit where it's the pearls. And sometimes, you know, I would cut things like that off and I would add that onto the sheet. So I won't actually dump that bit because that still can be used. I think what I might do is I'm going to, sorry about the rustling, I've just put things out the way. I might just check the embellishment sheet at the back to see if I do want to include anything else. I possibly don't actually at this stage. Sometimes, as I said, you can look at that, like this bit here. I mean, some of the more experienced crafters will sort of just manage to get things just so most of the time, and they know what works, what glues to use, everything like that. I'm still sort of a bit hit and miss, and what I will do is then I'll probably, I'm not necessarily going to use this piece, but what I will do is I will take the pieces out and just, you know, move them around on the card until I have worked out what I'm going to do. So, for instance, you could add an extra bit on, like so. But sometimes I try and refrain not to go too overboard, and as I said, I will look at it, leave it to one side, and I may add something else on a bit later. But as I said, I quite like that. But also, I do like putting things at an angle like that. So I will consider that because it's very similar flowers. I do love that cupcake that's down there. So I just wanted to show you a very basic card, and there will be other cards I'll be sharing as we go along. And I think what I'll do is, because I spent so much time last night going through these booklets and some of my paper pads, I did make some cards. March, I know we're in February, and I do get said, excuse me, I just have a sip of my drink. I've got my nice new mug that I got for my birthday. I do try and think ahead as much as I can, and March, Christmas is busy for birthdays, New Year as well, but March is quite a busy day, a busy month. I've got 3 birthdays, which includes my BFF, my mum, my brother. We've also got Mothering Sunday. I need to check the date on that one. I believe the Americans have a Mother's Day, but it seems quite weird because their Mothering Sunday is, I think it's about May or something, which surprises me. I don't know if Father's Day is the same, because Father's Day is usually around June time. I don't know if it's the same in America, but Mother's Day seems to be, I think, totally different to America. I don't know if it's the same with other countries. So there's Mothering Sunday as well. So this is why I need to get slightly ahead, and then after March you're getting into Easter. If I don't plan things out early enough, then what will happen is I'll run out of time. Now this is one that I did last night. Again, it's the 3D one, and this one is obviously the front of a bike with the little basket with the flowers. Everything from Poundland again, and just a nice basic card. And again, I do have a book in my bookcase that's got endearments in for different occasions, different birthdays, so I can just write in, but that sort of thing. As I said, it's nice to have some blank cards. So there's that one. This one I pretty much love. Enjoy Life. Very good for a book reader, and I presume the person that may be receiving this one may be seeing this video, I don't know, and she may know who she is. But I just love this with the glasses, the books, Enjoy Life, and it's got some butterflies and flowers. Again, leave it probably plain, but then if it comes to an occasion and say I want to use it for a birthday, which this one probably will be, then I may put another endearment saying happy birthday or something like that. Or I've got some thank you little embellishments, which say the bike one, I would put an embellishment on that one. But most of the time I leave them blank. They are made, they are ready. Now this one I very much love. I'm not any good at making mail cards. Again, this came out of one of these 3D books. Paper is from Poundland, so is the washi tape, and the gems I've had in my stash for ages. I think they actually came from Hobbycraft, but it's just a mail card. So I've got some mail birthdays coming up. I just love that. And again, I stop myself, I refrain myself from adding anything else, because I think sometimes you can overdo something. I kept saying to my family, I know they were really engrossed in TV, and I kept getting in the way saying, do you think this is too much? Do you think I ought to add something else on? One item I did actually destroy and remade, and this is it. These are the frames I got from Poundland in one of my last hauls. I've left the glass out, and I do this a number of times, and I change them out. I haven't used this goldy colour before. Normally use white, but I sort of like something like this on my desk, but I've got to declutter, as I said. So this is another embellishment. I've just got because it's coming up to Valentine's Day, I've got the little hearts, the lantern, the key, butterfly. And what I've done is, just underneath I've added some leaves, and then on top of the frame I've used the flowers. And what I tend to do is I take these out, which I will show you when I do my cubby, and I file them away, and then I can change them out. And I'm getting to the stage now, I'm having them for different seasons, so I can swap them out. I sometimes put quotes in, but I sat and did this one, but last night I had love, I had a lot of going on, and it was just too much. So I changed the backing off, because the paper that was in the backing on this was gorgeous, and I managed to, if I can find it, I will come across it in a minute. It was a lovely bit of paper, but in the end I had to change the paper out. I think I've left it in the other room actually. I had to change it out, and I just went some plainer paper because it was just too much. It probably is. This is the whole complete thing, and it is quite busy, I must admit, but I do like it, and I think it's gorgeous for Valentine's Day. And if I change my mind and don't want to use it in the frame, all I have to do is say I've left the glass out and I stash the glass safely, and I can cut round this, and then that 3D can just go on a card, so it can be reused if I find I don't want to use it anymore. So there's that one, and this one I do like. So that might be a little bit busy. This one says you are beautiful. I do like this one. This was also, I say, in the 3D pack. Lady's head, you are beautiful. Got the camera, which I thought was quite good because I started obviously YouTube and filming. And again, I've just added a few little flowers at the top on the frame just to give it that bit more element of a 3D look. And again, left the glass out. And I will say that these frames were £2 for £1. This could be for any age. Kids can do it, basic crafters can do it, the more experienced crafters can do it, but I have been doing this for quite some time. Even before I started YouTube, I was doing it like this, and it's a cheap way of actually bringing a bit more decor into your home or in your space. And I just like also to put quotes on. So there we are, there's those, and there's the card that we have done today. I'm not sure whether I'm coming back on and doing another segment today. I'm trying to upload a little craft project up each day. I have got some lovely ideas, but some of them I think are just a little bit time consuming, so I either have to do the project and just share it, or do part and part where I do the preparation or whatever, because it's like felt sewing hearts and things like that. And I would like to share my Sizzix machine, as I said, and I would like to make some boxes. I do have the die cut for my Sizzix to make the box, but if you haven't got a Sizzix machine, what I've done in the past is I've kept little boxes, pulled them apart, even grocery boxes, so you've got a template. But I will explain that when I get to making the boxes. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.